They have no feelings or emotions, they're not afraid of hunger, exhaustion, or moral fatigue, and they're not interested in ideology or politics, so they will never voluntarily switch to the enemy's side. They follow any order, even if it means giving up their own life. They are perfect killers, devoid of human weaknesses. They can be thrown into the very heart of battle, because they were created to detect the enemy and destroy columns of equipment, manpower, and the enemy's rear. We're discussing unmanned aerial vehicles and robots used by the world's strongest countries. After this video, you'll see how crucial their role is. We'll talk about secret developments from American closed institutes and see which of the unmanned aerial vehicle designers literally changed the course of history. We'll talk about who's leading this arms race and answer the question, is it possible that humanity could lose control over the military machines we've entrusted? Safety is the most valuable thing. Watch this video until the end and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep bringing you the most interesting content. Unmanned aerial vehicles are often called the weapons of the future. Military experts can't help but smile when they hear this, because they know very well that the future has already arrived, and it's impossible to wage modern wars without remotely controlled technology. In the first part of this video, we will talk about drones, and the second part will be dedicated to modern military robots. Attempts to create primitive unmanned aerial vehicles, also known as UAVs, were made a long time ago. The first time they were used was by Austrian troops to deliver bombs to besieged Venice using balloons. Back in 1849 and half a century later, Nikola Tesla developed and presented to the public a miniature radio-controlled vessel. And already in 1910, the American military engineer Charles Kettering built and tested several unmanned aerial vehicles. Since then, hundreds of models have been created. Some are fully autonomous and do not require an operator, while others are controlled remotely. Some devices have a range of just a few dozen meters, while others can cover thousands of kilometers. UAVs can take off using runways, from a ramp by hand, and even from a mothership. The energy sources are also impressive. Conventional fuel, chemical compounds, solar panels, and even recharging from a laser beam. There's no one in the unmanned aerial vehicle cockpit. Usually, the operator controls the machine from a central location on the ground, often tens to thousands of kilometers from the device. Strike drones cost much less than conventional fighter jets. The United States remains the world leader in military drones. However, recently more participants have entered the global market, narrowing the technological gap that existed just a few years ago. China and Turkey have joined the big game. Traditionally, Russia and Israel have strong developments. According to information obtained by journalists, the American military spends about $10 billion annually on UAVs, a fantastic amount. Many countries' entire military budgets are smaller than what the United States spends on just this area. The main reconnaissance and strike unmanned aerial vehicle available to the United States Air Force Special Operations Command is the MQ-9 Reaper, with a payload capacity exceeding 1,700 kilograms. During reconnaissance and patrol missions, the drone can stay airborne for more than a day, with a maximum flight speed of 480 kilometers per hour. This monster can carry up to 14 Hellfire air-to-ground missiles. The armament, mounted on 6 external hardpoints, includes guided 227-kilogram bombs. The vehicle uses autopilot, but a pilot and electronic systems operator on the ground direct its actions. Response time to a command is just 1.5 seconds. American drone operations are primarily controlled from Creech Air Force Base in Nevada. It is from here that drone operations around the world are controlled. Squadron and Special Forces activities are kept confidential. Researchers who painstakingly collect data claim that the relevant equipment and personnel have been deployed in Iraq, Afghanistan, Niger, Ethiopia, and Djibouti. According to researchers' forecasts, by 2028, the United States military will have more unmanned reconnaissance aircraft than the rest of the world combined. In addition to reconnaissance and strike UAVs, The United States Air Force Special Operations Forces use several models of light drones. In August 2004, the MQ-27A was tested for the first time in Iraq. This little guy, with a takeoff weight of 22 kilograms, carries a camera on a stabilized platform and a communication system. Launch is carried out using a pneumatic launcher. Now, American Special Forces are equipped with mini-drones. Black Hornet 3. This is a miniature helicopter-type drone that weighs only 35 grams and easily fits in the palm of your hand. It is almost impossible to detect it with existing detection systems. Despite its size, the device is capable of transmitting video images to several armored vehicles while crews are carrying out combat missions. The manufacturer claims that servicemen familiar with computer games can easily master the drone and do not need additional assistance. We will tell you about the best unmanned aerial vehicles in service with the Russian army a little later. Now about Israel. It's one of the key players in the military unmanned aerial vehicle market. A significant share of the drones exported by this country are kamikaze UAVs, capable of conducting reconnaissance and directly engaging enemy targets. There is no online information about the companies involved. All details are strictly classified. The latest available statistics date back to 2018, when there were about 50 startups in Israel producing 165 types of drones. Now, there are many more. On average, 80% of devices made in the country are exported due to huge demand. The largest and heaviest in the Israeli Air Force is A-10. The aircraft has a wingspan of 26 meters and a takeoff weight of over 5 tons, which accounts for its payload capacity. The Giant can exceed 400 kmph and remain airborne for over 30 hours, handling both reconnaissance and strike missions. An additional advantage is that these Giants have already been used in combat operations. The level of secrecy is such that in promotional videos for their products, the manufacturer hides the faces of the development team. Turkey, despite limited progress in aircraft and helicopter construction, has unexpectedly become a world leader in unmanned aerial vehicle development. Its drones literally strike fear into the specialists responsible for developing air defense systems. The advantage of Turkish strike drones is their modern software and control systems. The drones produced in this country fully meet the requirements of modern information warfare. Recording each strike on video creates a strong media impact and promotes the drones. The word Bayraktar comes from Turkish and means standard bearer. It gave its name to the Bayraktar TB2, a strike operational tactical drone with long flight endurance. Currently, its creator, Selçuk Bayraktar, plays a key role in the production of new UAVs by his company. Top intelligence agencies worldwide would love to recruit this developer. The machine weighs 630 kilograms and can carry up to 55 kilograms of munitions into the air, with a maximum flight time of 24 hours. The system is equipped with numerous cameras and surveillance systems, which allows it to be used primarily as an aerial reconnaissance vehicle. However, this monster can carry 2 anti-tank guided missiles and gliding munitions with laser guidance. And this is the second prototype of the Bayraktar Kızılalma supersonic strike drone, which translates as Red Apple. The drone is equipped with a jet engine and an advanced artificial intelligence system. It only needs a minimal runway length for takeoff, with a takeoff weight of about 6 tons, nearly 2 tons of which is payload. The drone can stay in the air for 5 to 6 hours at an altitude of 12 kilometers. The flight range, according to the manufacturer, is unlimited thanks to the ability to work with the CETCOM data transmission network. For comparison, the Bayraktar TB2 has a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour and a ground station control radius of just 150 kilometers. One of the most important features of Kızılalma, according to its creators, is the ability to land and take off from ships with short runways. And Kızılalma will also be able to operate as part of a swarm with other drones produced by Baykar Makina. Now, about Russia. At the beginning of 2019, the first photos of the newest Russian unmanned aerial vehicle Okhotnik were published, and the whole world saw an aircraft in the shape of a flying wing. In August of the same year, Okhotnik made its first flight, the heaviest, most expensive, and heavily armed Russian drone. The military says that at the moment, no country in the world has anything in service that even remotely resembles it. The vehicle is designed with special materials that make it invisible to radar systems. The developers believe that several of these vehicles, supported by Su-57S, could cause irreparable damage to any potential adversary's infrastructure. Currently, options are being considered to equip the vehicles with surface-to-air missiles and guided aerial bombs. In the near future, the Russian army is expected to receive the heavy reconnaissance and strike drone Altius. Exact data about this vehicle is classified. Open sources report that among its features are elements of artificial intelligence and the ability to interact with manned aircraft. Experts specifically note the unique characteristics of the vehicles called Orion. They have already been tested in Syria. The Orion's armament includes high-precision domestically produced munitions, as well as unguided bombs. Chinese unmanned aerial vehicle characteristics are a military secret. It is only reliably known about those whose tests were conducted officially. Information about the others is classified. Thus, the Celestial Empire's achievements in this area can only be assessed using intelligence data or the few models sent abroad. China sells partners low-cost CH-4 drones, which are analogs of American reconnaissance, and strike drones with similar features. Asian masters make models at half the price. And the CH-5, the most powerful drone in the Chinese army, can stay in the air for 60 hours without refueling. And that's with a wingspan of 21 meters. It is capable of carrying up to 16 air-to-ground missiles. There's also this futuristic Chinese drone, the JJ-11, known as the ATK-11 in Western classification. It is reliably known that Chinese engineers began research and development work on this unmanned aerial vehicle in 2006, based on data from the American ARQ-180. In 2009, production of full-scale components of the unmanned aerial vehicle began. By 2012, the ground testing program was completed, and during 2013, a full cycle of test flights was conducted. Small-scale assembly began in 2017. The drone's body is made of composite materials, which are highly capable of absorbing radar emissions from a potential adversary. Interestingly, it is known that the drone is equipped with a Russian rocket engine, 93 Mk engine without an afterburner, which is due to the requirements for reducing thermal visibility. The exhaust gases exit through rectangular openings in the unmanned aerial vehicle's body, which is made using heat-resistant materials and coatings. The only drawback of this technological solution is that the engine's thrust is reduced due to the absence of a full-fledged round-section nozzle. This is the first example of such an engineering solution by Chinese designers, and only practical military use will show its practicality and feasibility. And now, take a look at this footage. Chinese scientists have created a swarm of drones capable of flying autonomously through a dense bamboo forest and communicating with each other. Just watch how they maneuver around obstacles. It is claimed that such groups of drones can be used to provide assistance during natural disasters. But of course, their use for military purposes seems even more obvious. Despite the secrecy of the military sector, we can judge China's potential capabilities by the many details and news that come from the civilian sphere. For example, Jihui Jun, an ordinary Chinese man, invented a driverless bicycle in his spare time on weekends. The bicycle is not only able to ride on a flat surface and keep its balance by itself, but it can also avoid any obstacles, make turns, and turn around. It uses a laser rangefinder to navigate. Honestly, since this guy lives in Shenzhen, scenes like this are pretty ordinary for him. Nothing surprising, just an ordinary parking lot in this city. And here is the recent first flight test of the unmanned cargo plane TP-500. The aircraft can carry 500 kg of cargo and has a 1,800 km maximum range. The plane was developed by specialists from the First Aviation Institute of China in accordance with the requirements of civil aviation regulations. Or here's something else straight out of science fiction. In front of you is the world's first unmanned drone carrier ship from a Chinese company. It was created to carry out operations involving UAVs, as well as surface and underwater drones. The vessel acts as a command center, deploying drones and coordinating them. Once the mission ends, all unmanned vehicles return to the ship. After news like this, it's no longer surprising that in the Chinese army, what many consider the future has already become the present. Drones, exoskeletons, and unmanned trucks help Chinese soldiers and save their energy. Or, here's another military development. The Chinese attack drone helicopter Blowfish A3 is equipped with a machine gun and, as you can see, can drop bombs on the enemy. Also, Blowfish A3S can join together in swarms to carry out tactical missions. Among the first buyers of this drone are Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Now about Iran. They don't produce stealth fighters or fourth-generation nuclear submarines here, but they are constantly and purposefully working with attack and reconnaissance drones. For a decade and a half, the Iranians have achieved considerable success in this field, despite the extremely tough sanctions imposed on them by the United States and the European Union. Western experts rate the Iranian Shahed 129 combat drone made by Shahed Aviation Industries as the most effective and dangerous currently. They also call it a successful hybrid of the designs of two of the most well-known unmanned aerial vehicle brands, the Israeli Hermes 450 and the American MQ-1 Predator. This 8-meter composite drone can carry up to 400 kilograms of combat payload, fly up to 1,700 kilometers, and patrol for 24 hours. Its main weapon, the 35-kilogram guided bomb Sadit 345, can strike personnel and light armored vehicles. According to the manufacturer, one such drone can carry up to 8 precision-guided munitions. The drone has been produced since 2013 and has considerable combat experience with more than 400 combat sorties in Syria. The closest Russian counterpart is the Orion unmanned aerial vehicle from the Kronstadt company. Another promising development, which aviation experts especially note, is the Saige, which translates from Persian as lightning strike. Its development is tied to the high-profile 2011 scandal when the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps seized the top-secret American Lockheed Martin RQ-170 Sentinel drone. At the time, it became a real sensation. The Sentinel was positioned as the unmanned aerial vehicle with the most secure communication channel in the history of unmanned aerial vehicles. But that wasn't all. The stealth technologies used in the Sentinel were considered even more advanced than those of the main stealth aircraft of the United States Air Force. The Sentinel was widely considered the world's stealthiest flying vehicle in the West. If the manufacturer's stated specifications are to be believed, Iranian cyberfighters shouldn't have been able to intercept control, or even see the super-expensive American drone. It's a shame they forgot to warn them. The United States resisted for a while, calling the footage on Iranian television showing the captured stealth drone a fake. Only a week later did they admit the drone was theirs, and then President Obama demanded that Iran return the unmanned aerial vehicle. The response was easy to predict, and by 2016, the Iranians had already presented their own version of the stealth drone and have been producing it in series ever since. That's a bit exaggerated, as only about 30 units have been made. Despite its futuristic appearance, Saige is actually a rather modest reconnaissance drone. It's relatively slow, with speeds just over 100 km/h, and carries a small payload of only 50 kg. Its main feature is its stealth capability, which allows it to sneak up on air defense systems and strike them with a pair of guided anti-tank missiles. It is sometimes compared to the Russian Okhotnik S-70, but these are aircraft of completely different classes. Lastly, Iran's most common strike and reconnaissance unmanned aerial vehicle is the Quds Mohajer 6, which has similar capabilities to the Russian model. Farpost R has a takeoff weight of up to 600 kg, a range of 200 km, and a speed of about 200 km/h. It is capable of carrying 2 bombs or 2 anti-tank guided missiles. Iran actively used them against radical Kurdish separatist groups, but there haven't been any notable successes. Now, let's move on to robots. The famous science fiction writer Isaac Asimov wrote in the first of his 3 laws of robotics, "A robot may not harm a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm." Many fictional universes feature machine uprisings, such as Terminator and Dune, where the Butlerian Jihad, or Jihad of the Servants, occurred years ago, a kind of 200-year crusade against computers, thinking machines, and sentient robots. As a result, the god of machine intelligence was overthrown, and a new concept was raised. Man cannot be replaced. Obviously, this scenario greatly worries humanity. A scenario in which artificial intelligence rebels and opens fire on those who created it. Many experts in robotics, artificial intelligence, and representatives of non-governmental organizations are calling for a ban on autonomous offensive weapons as part of the Stop Killer Robots campaign. These include notable figures like Elon Musk, Steve Wozniak, and Stephen Hawking. They do not have a unified opinion on what autonomy is, where exactly it will be applied, and where it will not. But they are united by a general pessimism about the future. Not everyone shares this pessimism. Yanlo Kun, a world-renowned expert in machine learning, robotics, and neurobiology, is confident that the upcoming machine uprising is science fiction, at least for now. Yes, a computer can beat us at chess and Go, but that's not what you'd call true intelligence. Machines can't solve complex intellectual tasks. They don't have a complete picture of the world, they can't plan for the future, and they completely lack common sense. Everything they know, humans have taught them. And most importantly, machines lack any desire for power. So, as he points out, they won't take over our world unless a human makes them do it. But let's get back to the topic of this episode. Military pilots always have a chance of making mistakes due to the human factor. In this regard, drones seem more preferable. Drones don't need food, they don't lose consciousness from overloads, and they don't even need to take care of physiological needs while in the air. That's why experts predict that there will be more and more UAVs and robots in the army and fewer people. It is expected that the new devices will be multi-purpose platforms suitable for sabotage, strikes, jamming, and cyber missions, and they will be able to do all of this simultaneously. But at the same time, drones have quite a few problems. For example, most of them can't operate in bad weather. Ground personnel need to be trained, and this requires expensive ground equipment. At the same time, the personnel are under no illusion that they are playing a computer game. He is prone to moral exhaustion and guilt over killing people. There have already been cases in the United States where drone operators who left the service spoke negatively about their activities in the media. And this resulted in prosecution and real prison sentences for anti-government activities. Another problem is that sometimes operators are unable to distinguish between military personnel and civilians, and the total number of people killed by drones is in the tens of thousands. What comes to mind when you hear military robots? The first thing I think of is an anthropomorphic machine from sci-fi movies, which has its own intelligence and can act autonomously. However, this picture doesn't match reality yet. Usually, military robots these days are automated or remotely controlled platforms. Besides, it's unlikely that there are any tasks in real combat today that anthropomorphic machines would perform better than a professional soldier. The harsh truth is, people will keep fighting each other on Earth for a long time. Carnegie Mellon University's developers in the United States of America confidently deserve the top prize for creating the most original robots, like their snake robot. It was originally designed for search and rescue missions. It is capable of moving inside vertical pipes, climbing trees, and reaching the most hard-to-access places. The American military immediately became interested in it and used the system as a reconnaissance robot. Experts regard the Recon Scout spy robots as the most successful compact models. If necessary, they are equipped with a thermal camera without any payload, and the system weighs only 700 grams. The United States military tested their skills in using these robots in Afghanistan. The device, called Dogo, can be equipped with gas and stun grenades, But its main feature is the placement of a compact pistol, which is remotely controlled by an operator. By the way, military psychologists have noted an interesting phenomenon. Soldiers become very attached to their robots and treat them like comrades in arms or pets. The most widely produced model in the world is Talon, with more than 3,000 units already manufactured. This device serves as both a scout and a sapper. The Americans claim that with the help of these robots, 50,000 explosive devices have been defused in Afghanistan. The model is versatile, and as needed, it can be equipped with a machine gun, a sniper rifle, or even an anti-tank missile system. This is a robotic tank built on the Type X combat platform, which has passed tests including live fire exercises. The vehicle is equipped with a remotely controlled turret, featuring a 30mm Bushmaster cannon. The robot supports main battle tanks and infantry fighting vehicles and meets NATO standards. It is noted that thanks to artificial intelligence, the robot can perform autonomous navigation and overcome obstacles. The largest military robot is considered to be the Russian Uran-9. The 10-ton machine can be equipped with a 30mm cannon, a heavy-caliber machine gun, and an Igla anti-aircraft missile system. Reconnaissance, supporting troops with fire, and urban combat are its roles. The system is operated from a mobile command post. Uran-9's main advantage is its firepower. The smartest Russian robot is considered to be the Nerekta complex. It is built on a universal tracked platform, and it is being trained to fight in conjunction with other robots. Artificial intelligence and the latest control systems are being tested on it. Besides a machine gunner, the Nerekta platform can serve as a scout or transport vehicle. The robot can approach a bunker to destroy a machine gun crew, support its soldiers with fire, and undertake special missions behind enemy lines. In the strategic missile forces, it is used to guard the mobile missile systems Topol-M and YARS. The optical electronic system, thermal imager, laser rangefinder, and ballistic computer ensure high efficiency day and night. Vickr debuted publicly in 2016. The vehicle weighs almost 15 tons and is armed to the teeth with a 30mm automatic cannon, a machine gun, and the Cornet-M anti-tank missile system. The arsenal can target ground and air threats while moving. An interesting feature is that, if necessary, a soldier can get inside and control the robot just like a regular infantry fighting vehicle. At the Army 2022 Forum AO Intellect Maschinen presented the M81 Combat Robodog outfitted in a ninja suit with a grenade launcher on its back. The dog surprised those present with its amusing behavior, and everything would have been fine, except that internet users recognized it as the Chinese Robodog Unitree Go 1. Some may believe the Unitree Go 1 inspired a military robot, but this Chinese robot isn't fit for military use. Hackers can remotely hack and disable it, as confirmed by several online videos. The media reports that the M81 is a proprietary development of AO Intellect Maschinen, but the robot is manufactured using Chinese technology. You can get YUNI 3 GOU 1 for $, 2,700, while M81 is 1 million rubles. It brings up some doubts, doesn't it? This is Big Dog, Boston Dynamics' most famous robot. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency of the United States Department of Defense reportedly funded this development. The idea was to create a four-legged robot to help the military carry heavy loads in terrain where a tracked platform would be ineffective. The device was literally packed with electronics, gyroscope, pressure, and temperature sensors, video cameras, and communication equipment. However, the engine noise ended up ruining everything, and the United States Army did not adopt the prototype. Recently, Chinese robot dogs have become serious competitors to their American counterparts. Just look at what the B1 robot from Unitree Robotics is capable of. As you can see, it's not afraid of water, since its body meets the IP68 standard. The robot is also capable of moving at speeds of up to 1.8 meters per second, working continuously for 2 to 4 hours, and carrying loads weighing up to 100 kilograms. A Russian inventor attached a Kalashnikov rifle to a Chinese robot dog. While it's less stable than its American counterpart, and has some issues after firing, the robot dog always regains its balance. Military robotics is given special attention all over the world. In just the past few years, the Pentagon has allocated $4 billion for the development of military robots. Drones have already become our reality, while military robots are still technology of the future. The former directly affect military conflicts, while the latter serve mainly as experimental models. Humanity has been quite successful in creating machines that hunt itself. The smartest engineers design machines with a focus primarily on efficiency. Their goal is to destroy people, and every year they get better at it. Perhaps instead of celebrating these developments, we should consider what went wrong in our society. Wouldn't it be better to direct engineers and engineering thought toward exploring space or finding ways to produce more affordable life-saving medicines? Or is it impossible to do without defense, and therefore offensive technologies in the modern world? Otherwise, you'll be crushed, and there will be no talk of any development at all. Write what you think about all this, and everyone will see how many expert opinions gather in the comments under this episode. Thanks for watching. See you in future episodes.